Alright, so this week's challenge is week 85 Dresteroids. There is a new asteroid belt around Dres for 1.0, and we're going to go out there and grab ourselves a Dresteroid and bring it back and land it at the Kerbal Space Center. This is all sped up to somewhere around 64 times because it was a very long mission. Now I've got my mining vessel here, and all we're going to do is boost all the way out to Dres, which is quite the endeavor. Use the moon to get a little bit of extra speed, or velocity should I say, save us a little bit of delta V. Just going to match planes so I can get a decent encounter with Dres. Alright, and we have some sort of solid encounter with Dres. I'm just going to adjust it a little bit and try to get us a little bit closer. There we go. We are in Dres's system here, and I am going to circularize the orbit and detach the miner and pick myself an asteroid and go ahead and grab it. As soon as I can get into a decent orbit, that is. It takes a little while, but here we are, more or less. This is a Class E asteroid. I figured go big or go home, right? Well, we'll see how it goes. I ejected one from the system a while ago, so I'm having a little bit of flashbacks here. Not all of them good. Alright, I've got myself a full tank of fuel, and I realized that, you know what, Class E is probably a bad idea. I don't want to take that long. This challenge is taking long enough already. So I head back to Dres and get myself back into orbit and pick a new asteroid. This time it's a Class C. That's a medium asteroid. I think it was 42 tons, something like that. But yeah, much more manageable with enough fuel to get me back and do everything I need to do. Now, I'm not being the most efficient in my approach here, but no big deal. There's plenty of fuel on the asteroid. And there we go. You can see it's a lot smaller, and therefore I can kind of pull it around and make it do more sensitive maneuvers pretty easily. I realize at this point that Dres is really far away from the sun, and it might have been a good idea to use the nuclear power generators, because the solar panels don't work that well out here. I have to do a lot of time warping and pausing and all that type of stuff to get around the charge issue. Alright, so now that I'm up at Apoaps, I'm going to go ahead and burn retrograde and drop my periaps all the way down to Kerbin's orbit, because it's most efficient to do it this way. As you can see again, I'm mining, time warping, mining, time warping, mining, and time warping, because solar does not work well this far from the sun. That's a lesson learned the hard way. Now I'm just matching planes on Kerbin's orbit again so that I can come in somewhere reasonable in relation to the Kerbal Space Center instead of having to worry about being in something like a polar orbit and correcting that. Alright, so I am in the inner solar system. I've got, let's see here, 1,000 Delta V or so to play with, and I'm going to get myself an encounter with, about 6 years worth of time warping. I don't want to have to do too much in terms of later burning. So I'll set up a nice efficient one so I don't have to do any crazy burns and try to get more fuel. I think at this point I'm actually out of fuel on the asteroid, but here we are at Kerbin. I'm in the system, got my encounter, and now I'm going to go ahead and aero brake with help from the moon to put me in the right orbit here. Alright, and there we go. That's Kerbin orbit. That was normal mode for the week. But I'm going to take it one step further and go to hard mode and land at the Kerbal Space Center. Now, I made a parachute rig here with a little bit of fuel and 8 parachutes and a lander can and a person, because why not? Or a Kerbal. Unfortunately, my getting him out to the asteroid got corrupted after Kerbal Space Program crashed. But after many quick saves, I figured out the proper height to get to in terms of altitude for slowing down the asteroid and landing it as close to the Kerbal Space Center as I could go. So I'm going to land about 4.5 kilometers away, which I hope is close enough for hard mode in this challenge. If not, oh well. That was the best I could do. It was a huge pain. If you guys want to see more Kerbal Space Program videos, go ahead and like and subscribe. I'm doing all the old challenges as well as the new ones, and I've got all sorts of other stuff. I'd like to apologize for the rather poor video quality at this point. I think my recording was having a tough time landing or recording at night, but that's the only time I could land. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and touch down, and everybody's going to live, and that is a successful mission. See you guys next time.